So if we have a series of characters and those characters appear in a play that occurs on the stage at Griffin in December, some of those characters should start appearing in the world in other ways, at least the digital world, in other ways, from October.
All of that leads up to a single live event, so I guess the thing that's closest to a contemporary play, and that the narrative that people have been following interacts with that and kind of collides with that, but that you don't need to have engaged with one to totally get the other.
Traditional narratives and that are linear and when they roll out like that are wonderful, and there's still a place for them. There are other possibilities now, which I think have opened up in this digital age.
It's really about storytelling. I think we've been trying to talk about general concepts of story, and then using the theatre, the film, the video, the tweet, the Facebook profile, the blog post, all those things are ways to access that.
Because the platforms are so offer different possibilities, you as a writer have to sort of honour that and say, right, okay, well we can give people options here.
The levels of story we can tell just keep growing. I mean, that just snowballs into something that can be quite astonishing. And this is just the beginning of that snowballing effect.
It's going further than I have before in terms of like the way technology influences the story making and the storytelling.
Well, the main tools that we're using are the Google Hangouts and the Google Documents. I guess the Hangouts are the FaceTime that we have, the face-to-face kind of conversation.
The great thing about using the Hangouts is that we're able to keep that group of artists in constant conversation. So we've had people hanging out from Melbourne, Adelaide, Ulladulla, Singapore, London, Sydney, the office next door. Not having to schedule people physically is great, and there'd be no other way to keep that very busy group of people in the same conversation.
If there was no Hangouts possibility, I would not be in this project.
Well, it's the first time I've done a project where it has been purely, there's been no real face-to-face. I think for me, I don't particularly like it as much as face-to-face.
It's very hard without a handshake and say hello.
I think it's actually exponential in terms of helping productivity.
You've got your bunch of faces talking, and then you have a chat panel down the side, and then you have the Google Drive, which has the document that we're all pasting into. And so there are kind of 3 conversations going on at any one time. Hopefully what we're doing is something that hasn't been done before. And hopefully by the end of it, maybe some academic will come along in a year's time and be like, oh, it's called Digifischgeber. And everyone will go, oh yes, Digifischgeber. We all know what that is, and we're the guys who did it. But right now, categories are the least of our concerns.